This video is made for adult collectors because Bumblebee hit the gym apparently. So I need more leaders for the leader class shelf, and this was one I eventually was gonna need, but I was kinda dreading, and yeah, it's a bit... meh, scratch that, it's not the greatest. From the waist up, it's a very good Bumblebee. It's just the legs that are a pain in the ass. So this is the Age of Extinction deco, and it was a Costco exclusive and a Canadian Tire exclusive? When the fuck did they sell Transformers at Crappy Tire? Alright then. He has like no paint and no mech tech weapon, no weapon at all except for the thing that comes on his arm. You can really tell how much was cut on Transformers when they switched to Age of Extinction. They cut a lot. You think the paint's bad now? Like, I see a lot of people complaining, oh, Transformers nowadays need more paint. Age of Extinction was a lot worse. This will also definitely set off the scale nuts because it's big. This is also like a really good way to explain the transitionary period for leaders, because they went from large complex toys with lights and sounds to just large clicky toys. The original version of this mold had more paint, but it also had that light pack, but it was a separate part. Unlike Sentinel, who also came out for Dark of the Moon, who had his lights and sounds integrated, so they kind of transitioned into that, and then in Age of Extinction we got first edition Leader Prime and regular Leader Prime that didn't have lights and sounds at all. The toy itself feels nice. It's not Age of Extinction plastic because this mold is from Dark of the Moon, and that really helps this thing. I feel like if it was made of that Age of Extinction shit, it would just break so damn easily. Earlier, I said that the top half was great. And it is. I love the way the chest is assembled in the robot mode and how the wings are done. It actually matches the Dark of the Moon transformation scheme because at the end of the film, his doors do go up and then out. So just like this toy, I like when they do that. I do feel they sit a bit too high on the shoulders, but they are pretty articulated. So articulated that they can manage to look like this in the stock. Bro, what happened? Seriously, Hasbro, I'll do this for free. I'd take much better pictures than this. The back isn't the worst, but I would have liked it to fold up just a little bit more, maybe like one more layer of roof folding, because the whole thing is just visible and it's very annoying because it unclips constantly. The legs. Now, they're pretty bad. His knees are too high, his shins are too damn long, his heels clash into each other, making his stance not work at all. He has those stupid ratchets where he's stock straight or he has to pee. There's no paint and a below the knee swivel. It's so weird that the upper body's done so well and then the lower body just got shafted. But he also has gorilla arms, so 0 out of 10. All those leg joint and proportion issues make it really difficult to get him into a pose that looks decent. Even standing straight is difficult. That and the hip ratchets and the feet have a lot of play in them, so sometimes he just falls over. Head's nice though. I do really like the tooling, I think they nailed that, but the black eyes make him look super dead. I don't get that choice. They also did that with G.I. Joe Bumblebee recently, and it's just weird. He has this battle mask, which I always like that gimmick, and honestly I prefer that look, so I'm gonna leave him displayed with the battle mask down. He has his cannon on his arm that's completely unpainted, and there's this flip out blade that's just kind of pitiful, I'm not gonna lie. It's cool, but I wish it could flatten out fully, because it doesn't stay flat, so it could be like a cannon shield or a butter knife. The robot is just okay. Like, I just wish you could pose the legs better, but it seems to be like the curse of Bumblebee. A lot of the old ones had weird leg designs. Even now, they're a bit strange. So while his joints sound really cool, he's not very fun to pose. Like the wings, like I showed earlier, there's so much range in there, but only when they're up like this. If they're down, they kind of just sort of like to slot themselves into place here, and you can't fold them out lower than this, which I don't really like that much. The head can swivel. This backpack thing, oh my god. Stay in place. His head can swivel. It can't do a full 360. I mean, it can, but it can't because these armor plates are here. You can fold these down if you don't like the way that this looks and then rotate his head full 360. You can do that. No up and down though, and because there's no lights in him, it would have been nice if he could look up and down, but whatever. Shoulders are on a very soft ratchet. They could do a full 360 if all this stuff on the back wasn't there. You got in and out on that nice ratchet. You got a bicep swivel that does the thing I like where they've layered the sculpt so that something moves underneath. I really like when they do that. You got a double jointed elbow that ratchets. And this part, this is a soft ratchet, this is a clicky one. Yeah. And then the stupid dumbass gorilla arms. I hate this. You can wiggle his hand and his thumb for some reason. Why do they always give Bumblebee articulated thumbs, but they never actually do anything with it? I find that weird. This arm is exactly the same, except no hand stuff. Nothing at the waist because this opens up for transformation. Yeah, peg in. Hips. Can only go forward about that far because they bump into the sculpt unless you move it out. Then it can go up even further, but now he's, you know, splayed. They can go back that far. They can go out. He can do the full splits if he wants to. But again, they do that thing where he has to pee. T-pose. You got a below the knee swivel. Don't like that because there's no thigh swivel. You bend the knee, which only bends about that far, and all the way up there. That's what swivels. That's useless. That's really useless. And then you have this joint here that doesn't really lock in at all. So he can just like tip forward when he wants to. And then you have ratchet at the foot, which is forward and back, which I like. And then the heels can move to help accommodate, and the toe. So he's all right. But because of the lack of a waist, the way that the legs are done, and the gorilla arms, he's very limited. He has the joints, they're just not in the right places. And it just kind of ruins the experience of the robot mode anyways for me. Because this is better, and it's got lights and sounds in it. It's a shame. I really, really like the way that the arms and chest transform. It's such a unique Bumblebee conversion, and yet it feels so familiar. It's very satisfying to get everything tabbed in there, even the legs. Getting the feet nubs into their slots is extremely pleasant. Getting the roof tabbed in is a bit of a faff, but the car mode is probably the best part. I wasn't a fan of the 2014 concept Camaro. It just lacked all the angles and hard edges that I'm so used to with Camaros, and its single stripe was weird, but the one stripe on this car actually looks pretty good. I do wish the front splitter was painted, but that just seems like to be the theme of this figure, is just no paint. It feels like a Human Alliance toy in this mode. Like, it feels dense and compact like one of them, and oh, that one's next. I love the small Autobot symbols on the side of the car. They're so clean, and the Chevy badge is also extremely clean. Like, they did those so damn well back then. It's just so nice. This was also used and sitting at the bottom of this bucket, and honestly the paint is held up pretty well. There's a couple of chips, but not as many as I was expecting, so that's very nice to see. I genuinely do like the car mode. It really makes me want to get the Dark of the Moon one because like it looks better because it has a lot more paint. But do I recommend this? I mean, I got it used for like 20 to 25 bucks or something like that, which feels 100% worth it to me. So if you can get any version of this mold for cheap, then yeah, go for it. But it's also not great, so if you want a big Bumblebee, this one with the claw hand is probably a better buy, and I need one of those now, god damn it. But that's been my look at, what is this? Age of Extinction Leader Class Bumblebee. I almost said Dark of the Moon. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.